painting studio, it's about 2 meters square. So it's very compact, and I like that. I'm surrounded by my paint, and it's all very visceral, and I'm working on a big painting, and it's right there in front of me, and that's how I feel comfortable. Because I'm at home, it's a 24/7 thing, so I can dip into it whenever I want. But it does mean you don't get away from it, but I don't mind that. You know, it's just an all-encompassing thing. You know, this is my life, this is what I do, this is what I'm thinking about most of the time. And I'm an obsessive, and that definitely helps. A lot of painters are obsessives, and you know, you just keep going until you get it right. I think that's one of the differences between success and failure, is that determination to get it right, whatever it takes. The first thing people respond to when they see my work is the colour, and it is the obvious thing. But to me, it's not the most important thing. It's just one of a number of elements. You know, you've got composition, you've got the style, and you've got the colour, and they all come together, and the colours just sort of happen. It's not a deliberate thing. But obviously, you know, I am attracted to powerful colours. It's about getting them to work together. I started painting in 2005. I'd been painting for about 6 months, and then I started to look at stained glass windows, and so I started to put black lines around the forms, which emphasise the colour. They keep it clean, and hopefully they make it glow without it looking like a stained glass window. So it's a delicate balance between wanting it to have that connection to stained glass, but without it being a reproduction of a stained glass window. So that became my style, I suppose, my voice. And a lot of people in the early days did say that they liked my work, but not the black lines, and that, you know, if I got any sense, I would get rid of that. But I'm very, very stubborn, and it's proved the right thing to do, definitely. People tend to either get my paintings completely or they don't. They're kind of Marmite paintings. You either really like them or you really don't like them. And I like that. I wouldn't want somebody to come into the gallery or into my studio and go, they're nice. I want them to get some sort of a hit from them, and to go away and maybe not be able to get it out of their head when they go to bed at night, just be thinking about that painting. I mean, most of my heroes as painters, they could paint all sorts of things. They could paint landscapes, nudes, still life, portraits, and I think painters really should at least have a go at everything. There is no subject which is off limits to me. You know, there's just so much to paint. The problem is having the time to get it all down. And I often get asked by people at exhibitions how long it takes to produce each painting, and they vary enormously. I mean, the shortest would probably be about 4 days, but it's usually weeks, it can be months, it could even be years. There's one downstairs that I've been working on for 3 years now, and I'll finish it, but it'll take as long as it takes. You've no idea how much of the work is done in here, just sitting and thinking and sort of unwinding almost with the paintings. Sometimes you've just got to let them sit, and you come back to them after a few months, and then you realise sometimes I can just be sitting in here staring at a painting for hours on end, and suddenly it clicks and you think, right, that's what I'm going to do with it, and that's it. I mean, I spend a lot of time thinking about what I'm going to work on next, you know, either looking through photographs, looking through drawings that I've made, and then it's distilled down into this book where I collect all the images together, and I start thinking about how it's all going to look and how it all relates to itself, and then I'll draw them up, and then they become the black lines in effect. So this was how the Harrington painting started. Originally it was just the church and the railway line and the pub, and then I decided I would do a panoramic view which includes the sea, so it became a long, thin painting. Originally it was going to be 2 canvases, but I managed to get a canvas that was long enough. This is the still life with soul, which started off as a turbot, but became a soul with the lemons. This is one of my table paintings. There's an element of a child's work in what I do, and that's deliberate, that naivety. I want that. I want, you know, that kind of no holds barred. When you're a kid, you just make a drawing and you draw a house and you draw a black line around it and then you colour it in. And I want some of that in it. But there's a delicate balance between naivety and a certain amount of technical skill. So it's very modulated, it's very controlled. So I'll make this very simple outline drawing, and then I'll work that out on canvas, paint it up on canvas, wait for that to dry, and then put the colours in basically. One of the nice things about painting with oils is the connection between what I do and what my heroes did. Oil paint hasn't changed since it was invented. Most of my heroes worked, 100 years ago, and it's exactly the same stuff. It comes out of tubes and it takes a while to dry. It's pigment mixed with oil. And I really like that. I really like that connection with the past. A lot of my work is a kind of conversation with the past, with my heroes. And I really like that. I just like having that connection. This is Harrington in the winter. I painted a painting in the summer and I wanted to revisit it. In the summer it looked almost like a Cornish fishing village, but what I remember is it being kind of grimy and gloomy in the winter. So I sat on a wall and did this drawing. I'm trying to work the painting up from that without really referring to the photographs that I took that day. So I'm just trying to capture a feeling. It's kind of a 4 o'clock in the afternoon when you just want to go home and shut the door, have a cup of tea and a biscuit. It's getting there, slowly. My work tends to be about beauty and joy, so I hope that some of that comes through, at least in some of the paintings. They're very uplifting, joyous things, life-affirming, but that's really for me to feel that. But you would expect that some other people would feel it, at least I would hope so, definitely.